Hey guys, Patrick Wind here and welcome to this training model in which I'm going to show you how you can create dynamic product ads. So dynamic product ads cannot be created within a conversion campaign. This one was a conversion campaign, but rather in a product sales, product catalog sales campaign, and therefore we have to create a new campaign specifically for that. Okay, so as I said, we're not using a conversions campaign, but we are rather using a catalog sales campaign. Okay. Let's call this one also price winning campaign. Okay, here we have to select the right catalog that we're going to display in our ads. Let's imagine it's this one. When you hover over it, you also see what kind of products you have in it. So this one has 76, this one is also 76, so it wouldn't matter too much because they're identical. And let's call this one price winning DPA. Here it's very important that we can select a specific product set. For example, if we would have created up front a set only for the white bracelets, for example, or only for the ones with a golden symbol, that would be something that we could select here. But we could also create a product set when we are in this moment. So for example, let's call it the skull edition. Okay, and we could now search either for specific price, so all of them that are more expensive than, let's say, 20 euros. So we would stay with these 16 products. Or we select the products that are cheaper than 20 euros. So you see, that's of course exactly the opposite. Below this line, you always see the final selection of what this filter will give us. Or we could say all the products that are a specific product type. Let's see if this one, let's say, all the products that are this specific kind or this specific kind. Okay, so will give us this option. It's actually nice. Let's call this one even, let's say that's the dog edition. So we would have these three products. You see the fancy, they favor the dogs. So let's create it as a product set. But we could also just select all products or create another product set here. For example, using the actual product names. That's the way that I create it usually. So I usually click here product and then I just search by their name. For example, if I want the Lion King, because I know that's a nice one. And let's call this, that's actually an ad set that I recommend you to create a bestseller ad set. What else do we have from Skull? And also this one. And Lion Skull. Exactly. So let's take, for example, these 5 bestsellers. See, they all look very nice. It's a good selection. Their bestseller, 5 products. Then we can create this product set already here on ad set level, and we now can create a DPA with these bestsellers. Okay, we could now select to whom we're going to show it. So either people who viewed or viewed the product or added to the shopping cart but did not purchase in the last 14 days. You could either choose 14 or 30 or even up to 180. So 180 is the maximum that we can select here. If you select 181 it says please enter numbers between 1 and 180 in the audience inclusion and exclusion fields. So let's take all the maximum audience that we can, 180 for example. You also have here options of just added to cart, upsell products, which is basically people who have purchased, same cross-sell products or custom combinations, okay? But don't overdo it, especially not in the beginning. Especially in the beginning, you should be fine with this selection, so viewed or added to cart but did not purchase in the last 30 days or even 180 days, so that you can have all the potential data points that there are, okay? And you can leave automated placement. Watch out, the daily budget is per default already 100 euros, so let's lower it to 10 or 20 euros to get started, and that's good. Now we can now go to ad level, and on ad level, of course, we want to select our Instagram page, and here we have the different options when it comes to DPA, to create a carousel, to create a single image, or to create a collection ad. Let's get started with the most famous one, which is a carousel. Of course, we still have to give them a specific copy. For example, let's use this one that we have already created up front. So it would look like this. And we see that we do not need a headline, because the headline is taken dynamically from the specific product, and it looks very nice. And in order to see how all the other products look, once again I remind and remember you to go to desktop newsfeed. Here you can switch through all of them, and you see that they look very nicely. You could click here, show a slideshow when available. So if you have several items, if you have several photos uploaded, for each photo it will automatically create a video here. In this case you only have one product shot, therefore it stays the same. But if you have multiple images in the product feed, a slideshow will appear instead of a single image, so that's something that I strongly recommend. You could also play around with the different elements that we could select here. For example, instead of the product name you could show the brand, and you could also add a normal like a standard element here if you want. So you could leave everything, or you can delete the price, for example. So it's okay. You could also do this. You can combine those dynamic elements with static elements. So for example, then you would say the name by the brand. Actually, it doesn't look too bad. Here I definitely prefer to use the price, and it looks already very good as our first option of a DPA ad. Probably we could now, we can even leave this by Rockets to focus the brand a little bit more, and we could already, so let's also copy this for later purpose, and now we can already go ahead and create this first DPA that we have created together, and let's see what variations we can now create based on the first element that we have already created together. So if we go on ad level, we can now take the one that we have created and duplicate it. And in the duplicate, we could, for example, substitute the carousel by a collection ad. That's actually an interesting idea. So we can choose from this template, for example. Here we could select a video, and it dynamically takes it from this product catalog with the product set that we have selected on ad set level. And we want to bring them to and we're good. Give them the text also here. Of course it is not supported on desktop newsfeed. That's of course definitely true. Headline, rockets, bracelets, and we have created a wonderful DPA. All errors have been resolved, and it's actually a super nice combination of a one-on-one video with the bestseller products below. We could even say something like -40% summer sales. We can also change the order here, something like that. Summer sales done. Actually looks pretty cool. And now we could go ahead, and once it is loaded, we can go ahead and publish it. Let's also delete this one, catalog sales, but this is now a collection. Nice. So let's go ahead and publish it. And once it is published, we will preview the two collection ads that we have, the two DPA ads that we have created. One is a standard carousel, so to say. The other one is a collection. The other one is a collection ad, and we can preview both of them. So let's get started with the carousel. We see the carousel is gonna be displayed not only on Facebook mobile newsfeed, but also on desktop newsfeed and even on right column. So you see this one works on all the different placements. So desktop newsfeed as well as right column. So you see on desktop newsfeed, it looks actually very nice. And on right column, it also looks beautiful. It takes the two elements that are shown in the first place. On Instagram feeds, it looks very nice. And that's actually a very, very cool ad, focusing on the products. And if you now take a look at the collection, what we learn here, that the collection of course is only available on mobile devices, so Instagram feeds and Facebook mobile newsfeed. Here we see that on Facebook mobile newsfeed it takes 3 images in the preview, and then the fourth one as more, okay. But for example on Instagram feeds, it takes 3 of those images, and the learn more button is here integrated. So always be aware that the collection ad can now also be shown on Instagram feeds, and definitely do it, because it's a great way to promote your products, and it looks very nice. So guys, thank you very much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this one as much as I did, and see you in the next videos. Goodbye, have a good one.